Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook. I'm off the grid. I'm off the grid. I'm off the grid.
He can help, but that's one. George Chuvalo was one guy who could always give it back to Ali a little bit in the verbal department, because Ali went to Floyd Patterson when Floyd Patterson and Chuvalo was fighting each other. They were training not too far from each other. Ali went to Floyd Patterson's training camp and got kicked out by Floyd Patterson and his trainer and them. Chuvalo let him stay the whole time. Chuvalo talked shit back to him, and he brought Chuvalo some more washerwoman clothes. And Chuvalo actually put the shirt on and put a mop over his head and started playing around and talking shit back to Ali. He always would talk smack back to Ali.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that part. I didn't know that. I didn't know about some more stuff.
There was the second time where they met, and Ali brought him some washerwoman clothes, and Chuvalo was like, "I'm not really happy with you interrupting my training camp, but give me the clothes." He put the shirt on and just started messing around with Ali again and with that washerwoman shit.
Yeah, man, George, man, but he came trying to knock Ali head off in that fight, though. Remember, Ali let him bang him to his body a whole bunch of times to show him he could take his punches.
Ali had to go to the hospital after that too.
Yeah.
He was pissing up urine and stuff.
I heard. George, he said Ali did that to try to show
he was
like
pissing blood through his urine.
Yeah, he said, but he said he only did that one time that fight though, blood. He said he tried to show his power to let me hit him bang him to the body. He said, but he only did it once the whole fight. Right. He didn't do that no more. But yeah, I like George.
He was peeing blood. He was peeing blood after the fight, Ali.
And that's crazy.
Chuvalo in the first fight. In the first fight, he was peeing blood.
He was pissing blood after that third Frazier fight too, wasn't he?
Yep, he was. Yep.
Man,
because Ali, that's why Ali, man, he just took too many beatings, man. You know, he would lay against the ropes. He didn't do it much he didn't do it at all hardly in the 1960s. He did it in the Chuvalo fight to prove a point, but other than that, he really didn't do that until the 1970s. He started doing that after the George Foreman fight, and he started laying against the ropes and doing that rope-a-dope shit, and that's what got him fucked up right there.
Yeah, man, he lost.
He took too many punches. He fought Ronnie Lau, Ernie Shavers, and George Foreman against the ropes. Some of the biggest punches in the history of the game.
Do you think his legs was gone by the time he got to Foreman?
They weren't what they used to be. There's three versions of Ali. There's the Cassius Clay 1960s version. There's the early 70s version. The guy who went on, and we could call him the People's Champ. He had a USBA belt, and that's where the People's Champ shit comes from. He lost to Joe Frazier. He went out and got the USBA belt, and he went on like a 12 fight run or something like that, where he fought a whole bunch of these guys. While Frazier was sitting back, not defending his title and getting injured and stuff, Ali went and fought everybody that Joe Frazier was supposed to fight, and they started calling him the People Champ. The People Champ version of Ali is different from the rope-a-dope version. The rope-a-dope was the last version of Ali. The People Champ Ali still danced on his toes, still popped the jab, and still had pretty good quick hands. His timing wasn't as good as it used to be. His hands wasn't as fast. His footwork wasn't quite as fancy, but he still was better than the rope-a-dope Ali. It's the rope-a-dope.
Let me ask you this, Blood. Let me ask you this, Blood. Do Ali beat a prime Sonny Liston?
Man, Sonny Liston in his prime, Sonny Liston's true prime is the late 50s, the late 1950s. This is to maybe 61. After 1961, not anymore, because see what Sonny Liston's problem was his shoulders. He had arthritis in both shoulders, so that's what fucked him up. He had really, really bad shoulders, so that's why when he had fought Ali that first time, Ali got that stuff in his eye. They didn't put nothing on his gloves. They put the muscle stuff on his shoulders, and it got that icy hot stuff, the sports cream. They put that on his shoulders, and it got into Ali's eyes. What ended up happening? If he would have fought
strong
Sonny
ass
Liston in
jab.
1958, 59, it would have been a much harder fight for Ali.
But I think, but wasn't before he fought Ali, he was running through people. Man, he destroyed Floyd Patterson.
He was destroying people. He beat up Cleveland Williams. He beat all kind of people up. And then after Ali too, because I honestly believe Sonny Liston took a dive in the second fight. He took a dive in the second fight because
did you see those FBI files that talked about that dive that he took? Did you see those?
Absolutely, I got all of that stuff here. You know, all that stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? This is a 1965 magazine with Sonny Liston and Ali. See, right now I'm studying a lot of this stuff on the Sonny Liston Ali stuff. I got several all these magazines I got right here are Sonny Liston versus Ali second fight. So basically what was going on was Malcolm X got killed, right? And the black nationalists that was with Malcolm X, they wanted to get some revenge for Malcolm X's assassination. So the main two targets was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Muhammad Ali. That's who they wanted, so they could get some revenge for Malcolm X. So the threat that was coming from the black nationalists was, we're going to kill Ali, we're going to get him as soon as we got a clear shot. That's why they brought all the FBI, them agents and police officers in for the second fight. Sonny Liston was told that, hey, he was getting calls too, saying, you better come up, pull out of this fight, because we're going to take a shot at Ali while he's in the ring with you. And if you're in the way, we'll kill you too.
Was he still with the mob at that time?
Yeah, he was still fucking with the mob. But the thing about it is, it was bigger than that whole thing. The mob didn't want to even touch because it was the black nationalists that were following Malcolm X versus Elijah Muhammad and the NOI. The mob didn't want to have nothing to do with that. They said, fuck that. We don't want to be involved in black on black crime. Let them kill each other. But Sonny Liston was told that, hey, we're going to take the first shot at Ali that we can. And Sonny Liston, before the fight, said, man, I just want to get out of this whole thing. After I'm done with this fight with Ali, I'm closing the chapter on this. I'll never fight him again, win or lose. And he was scared. He was scared that, hey, they're going to try to assassinate or kill Muhammad Ali, and he was going to get caught in the crossfire. I think it had to do with that. Some people tried to say that the NOI held his wife and his kid hostage, but that's not true. Because I talked to Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Leon Muhammad, who knows another channel. And I talked to this guy on the phone, right? He's 80 years old, and he told me that wasn't true. He was with them guys. But
have you seen a movie
called? Was afraid, man. He was afraid for his life, man. When he got hit with that punch, like, okay, so Cleveland Williams, Zora Foley, all those guys who have fought Liston, Eddie Machen, all of them said, hey, I hit Cleveland Williams way harder than that several times than that little anchor punch. He took that as a way out, man. He laid down and just said, fuck it, I'm not getting back up to this shit. I want to just get my paycheck and take my ass back to Denver. And that's what he did.
It's an excellent movie called about Sonny Liston called The Phantom Punch. Are you familiar with that movie?
Yes.
It's an excellent movie. One thing I wanted to ask you, like, how close do you think his reality was to that movie? And do you, from watching the movie and just, looking at documentaries and stuff, it would seem like it was some foul play behind Liston's death, because he didn't like needles, and they said he overdosed, on needles and stuff. So I wanted to know your take on that, like, as far as the how close the movie is to the real life, and what you think the reason behind the demise of Sonny Liston.
From what I saw of the movie, man, they left out a lot of shit. But I have a lot of articles on Sonny Liston. I'm telling you, I have hundreds of them, man. There's a lot of things about Sonny Liston that they left out. One thing, Sonny Liston didn't even know his own age, bro. He had no idea how old he was. Wow. When he was getting ready to fight Ali, they said they were advertising him as a 32-year-old, but guys like Jack Dempsey knew people who had seen Sonny Liston in gyms in the earliest the 1940s as a grown man in the gym back then. He went to prison in the early 50s, right? And he was a grown man there. And there's he has different ages to every time he went into jail, in and out of jail. He would report a different age and all kinds of stuff. Sonny Liston, Joe Louis was his main man. He was his advisor. Joe Louis told the world that Sonny Liston is much older than he's going around saying he is. Joe Louis always kept it real. Even if Sonny Liston got mad at him, he'd tell Sonny Liston basically, fuck you, I'm going to tell him what I want to tell him. And he basically told him that Sonny Liston is at least 45 years old. Marciano said that me and Sonny Liston are the same age. I know people who sparred this guy way back in the 1940s.
Wow.
Jack Dempsey had a lot of information. Sonny Liston, it was easier to get away with it in 1955 and 56 and 1960 to promote a different age, right? But when somebody saw you before you went to prison in a gym, when several people saw you at gyms all over the damn place in 1944 and stuff like that, and you were already a grown man, then, the guy was like 20 years old at the time when they saw him in 1944 and stuff like that. He was in his 20s at that time. So by 1964, if he was in his 20s in 1944, then by 64, 20 years later, he's in his 40s.
So you think he fought?
They knew people. Marciano and them knew people who sparred him when in the 1940s.
So you think he was in his 40s when he fought Ali, blood?
Yeah, he was around 45.
God
40,
damn.
Probably 42 to 45.
I read that as well. I read that he definitely didn't know his age. Like he come.
Nope.
Where was he from again, blood? Where was St. Liston from?
He's from Arkansas.
And he was like, wasn't he? Didn't he like grow up like on like a
farm or something?
A farm or something like that. And like it was like under like
by his father. His mom left him when he went to the city to go find his mom in St. Louis. His mom didn't want him then either. He was a big ass kid. He was mugging people and doing all kind of stuff. He was naturally a real mean guy. And his story is really sad, man. He ended up going to prison because he was getting in trouble all the time. Nobody wanted him because he was just a big bully. He stole from his own family members. He stole some pecans from his one of his family members, and they wanted his ass out of there. They didn't want to deal with him. He was too big, had a nasty attitude. Nobody wanted. He was hard-headed. We call it hard-headed now. He was hard-headed, and then nobody wanted to deal with Sonny Liston. He ended up going to prison, but the mafia, they liked him. The mob liked him because you got a big, tough guy. They said, hey, he met the right people. They said, this is the guy we need working for us. So he became a guy who would go and get money for the mob and beat people up and rough them up. He even beat up police officers. This guy had a real bad problem with beating up police officers.
Yeah, police
and he got away with it as a black man in the 1950s.
Right.
He had a mob backing. To get away with beating up police officers, white police officers, you have to have some kind of a mafia connection.
Oh, yeah.
To get away with it and even be alive. He'd throw them in the dumpster. He'd do all kind of stuff to these guys.
So blood, are you telling me with this newfound information that George Foreman isn't the oldest heavyweight champion? It probably was Sonny Liston. Is that what you telling me?
It depends, because George Foreman, how old was he? 45?
He was
45 when he beat Michael Moore, right?
Yeah, I thought 46, but we can go.
He might have been 46. He might. I think you're right. I think it was 46. Because they couldn't prove it, because Sonny Liston, they could never find his birth certificate. They never gave him the credit for that. Because they don't know for sure if he was 42. There was definitely no doubt about it that this guy was not what they were advertising, which was in the early to mid-30s. He wasn't that, because he would have been too young too many people had saw him in gyms in the 1940s. He had been seen all over the place. And Jack Dempsey, all of these guys knew and heard about Sonny Liston. They knew who he was. They had other people talking and saying, hey, man, that guy been around forever. That guy no damn 33 years old. He been around forever. I sparred him back in 1944, 1945, and he was no kid. When I sparred him then, he had a beard and a goatee then.
So check it out. It's one more question I want to ask about Sonny Liston, because obviously Sonny Liston is known worldwide renowned for his jab. And they said he may have had one of the best jab in boxing. So what I want to ask, and I want to ask both of y'all, in the prime of his career, when his jab was the most lethal, Who do you think had the better jab between him and Larry Holmes? Either guy can go.
Go ahead, Fishy.
For me, I'm a bit biased. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm gonna say Sonny Liston, but that is coming from a place of bias. But I'm gonna say Sonny Liston. I mean, they said I forgot who Sonny Liston's fault, but they said he jabbed the boy, and knocked all his damn teeth out his mouth. I mean, like, who was that? Blood? You remember who that was? Blood? He knocked his teeth, jabbed him, and knocked his teeth out his mouth.
Marty, I think maybe Marshall. It was Marty Marshall. Maybe.
Now,
I know he knocked out Marty Marshall some of his teeth. I don't know if it was off the jab or. I don't know if it was off the jab though.
I've heard stories of somebody he hit him with it was a jab and
he knocked
damn near all his teeth.
With the jab all the time though. He would always knock people out with the jab. I think the story about the teeth is Marty Marshall. I think it's Marty Marshall. I'm almost positive it's Marty Marshall.
Like for me, it's Sonny. It's that, I mean, Larry Holmes' jab was amazing. Larry Holmes, I'm gonna say this. Larry Holmes, I'm gonna say this. Okay, this is my final answer. Larry Holmes' jab was a bit more educated. I'm gonna say that Sonny Liston's jab was more powerful. So Sonny Liston, so I'm gonna keep it there. Larry Holmes' jab, educated jab. That he can vary it. He could, you know what I mean? He had different ways of delivering it. But I'm going to say Sonny Liston's jab was like, man, it was a jab. I would rather get hit with Larry Holmes' jab than Sonny Liston's.
That's a good one. Blood,
you know what? Well, let's not forget Larry Holmes did knock out Ozzy Ocasio, a guy who was very hard to knock out. He knocked him out with a jab. But Sonny Liston had knocked out several guys with a jab. Sonny Liston had the harder jab. Larry Holmes probably was technically more sound with his jab. He was definitely a more technically sound fighter than Sonny Liston. He can move around on his toes and pop the jab. You know, he was a little bit more rangy than Sonny Liston, because Sonny Liston was basically a come forward guy who would kind of jab his way in with a hard thudding type jab. He wasn't as fast as Larry Holmes' jab, but it was hard. It was almost like he was throwing a hook, and the jab was so fucking hard, man.
Who you think you think it just kind of the jab kind of came natural to Sonny Liston? Because we all know that like Larry Holmes emulated Ali and like perfected the jab that Ali had, but with Sonny Liston, I can't say he emulated anybody when it came to his jab, but it was very effective and deadly. It was a deadly shot.
Sonny Liston's trainer was Willie Reddish. Willie Reddish is a fighter that was damn good, right? Willie Reddish was a badass guy.
This is after
Willie
the
Reddish
pastor?
learned firsthand. What's that?
This is after the pastor, or is this the pastor? Because remember, he was trained by a preacher or a pastor initially.
It was Willie Reddish, man.
That's
Reddish,
his name?
Willie Reddish. Look him up.
Okay.
Willie Reddish was Sonny Liston's trainer. I think Willie Reddish was actually a pastor, right? Willie Reddish was a fighter that was good buddies with Sam Langford and the guy who trained Blackburn, the guy who trained Joe Louis. Willie Reddish was cut from that cloth. He was down with all of those guys, right? I think later in his life he might have became a pastor or something. But Willie Reddish was. What's that?
Was he white?
He was black.
Okay, the dude I'm talking about was the pastor that got listed boxing in jail, and then outside of jail, he continued.
Oh, okay. No, Willie Reddish is the one who had him during his professional.
Okay, so that's who he went. That's who he went to.
I don't know who it was. I don't know if Willie Reddish was a pastor or not, but I do know that he was really good friends with Jack Blackburn. He was good friends with Sam Langford. Willie Reddish was also a fighter from that era. He was one hell of a trainer, and he's the one who taught Sonny Liston a lot of that stuff. Taught him the jab.
He's from Philadelphia too.
Oh, did you look him up, Willie Reddish?
I just looked him up. He's from Philadelphia.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
He's from Philadelphia. Absolutely. I'm telling you, man. A lot of people don't know about some of these trainers like Wiley Reddish. Goldman, those guys were like from the old school era, man. Those guys knew all the fundamentals. They really knew, because you got to remember back in the day, you couldn't even come up with a game plan. There was no film to study. So they needed the right guys in their corner who had been through that same kind of stuff as them. Guys who could go in there and break a fighter down on sight. They had to know how to do it on sight. There was no such thing as no film study back then.
Yeah.
Somebody like Willie Reddish was known as a guy who could go in there, look at somebody, observe him a couple of times, maybe live a couple of times, and he would get his number and could develop a game plan. Because he came up in there with Sam Langford, who was one of the smartest masterminds in boxing, and Jack Blackburn, man. So
you think that's why Customato didn't really want Floyd Patterson to fight Liston, because he was being trained by Willie Reddish and he knew that he could come up with a game plan to beat Patterson?
He didn't want him. He didn't want him to fight Liston because Liston was too big and strong for him, and he knew it. And another thing, Customato really respected Willie Reddish, because a lot of people don't know, when Liston was preparing for Ali's in the second fight, Customato went over there for 2 weeks and worked with him. He helped Liston out some for Ali in the rematch.
Really?
He went over there to the camp, good eyes on, and actually was interacting. Willie Reddish brought in Customato as another set of eyes to see if he could see some things that he don't see and things like that. And Customato, he wasn't trying to take over the training duties of Willie Reddish. Willie Reddish was the one who was the tough fighter from out of the 1930s and stuff like that.
What weight class was he fighting in, Blood?
I can't remember. I think look that up. Look that up right there. I can't remember that.
He fought a heavyweight.
Willie Reddish.
He fought a heavyweight.
Willie Reddish was, man, I'll tell you.
You said he was good friends with Sam Langford?
With Langford, Blackburn, he knew all of them. He knew them all.
You know, man, it's such a shame, man. Like, I really would have loved to see those guys. Even if you can time travel those guys, man, like the Sam Langfords, the Klondike Hayes, the George Godfreys, the Obie Walkers, like these guys, like, and for people that's listening, bro, this is some old school talk right here that we going back 100 years. You know what I'm saying? Like with some of these guys, man, and like those guys, man, I wish it was more footage. You know what I'm saying? And tape on those guys. Just footage, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just
footage,
like,
man, there's no footage. Willie Reddish and the Blackburn.
You know what else is interesting? Willie Reddish was born in 1916. He died in 1988.
Damn.
Wow.
Shit, I was one.
He went for a long time, man. He went for a long time.
Oh yeah. And that's after a professional boxing a professional boxing career that was going more than 15 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's another thing to think about. When you talking about the Sam Langford days, they was going more than 15. That was a good gem, Blood. Like Willie, I never heard of Willie Reddish, so I'm gonna dive into him. That was a good gem.
Yeah, look into it, man. I'm still doing research on, I started learning about him through these magazines here. And I noticed that in the 1960s, Willie Reddish was one of the big time trainers. So everybody respected him. It's a shame that he got kind of buried and just with time he just kind of got buried and was one of those great trainers that a lot of the trainers that you hear later coming along later, some of Willie Reddish's teachings went to guys like Georgie Benton and them. Because he was a Philly guy, and a lot of that stuff went to Georgie Benton, and all of them took a page out of. They loved Willie Reddish. They knew him who he was.
So
Georgie Benton knew him very well.
Was Liston the only champion that he trained, or was he trained other?
Nah, he worked with some other guys too, but Liston is his most popular. Popular.
So do you think Customato he got put on the map by having Floyd Patterson like the youngest heavyweight champion? Like that, like give him like a big boost. Like Freddie Roach got a super boost when he got Pacquiao. You know what I mean? But I didn't hear about Customato until the Floyd Patterson. You know what I mean?
That's what put him on the map, Floyd Patterson. But him and Floyd Patterson eventually fell out. They fell out, man. The Customato had several other fighters, man. He's had so many people go to that house of his, man, and set up shop in there. Some people will fall out with him because Customato was like Angelo Dundee. He was a trainer / manager. So he he did both of them. Gil Clancy was like that too. Clancy, Dundee, Customato.
It was a lot of that back in the day, wasn't it, Blood? It was a lot of that trainers, manager.
A lot of that stuff.
That was like common practice back then, a lot, right?
What's that?
I said that was like common practice back then, wasn't it? The trainers, managers.
Also with the white trainers, the black trainers usually stuck to training.
But you know, man, we starting to see that today, man. When we looking at these, a lot of these father-son, professional fighters, like you'll see like a Ken Porter and Sean Porter, manager trainer. You see like a Devin Haney, and his dad, you know, Bill, manager trainer. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like that stuff is kind of coming back, but it seems like today the difference that I notice is it's a blood related relationship, opposed to back then they wasn't blood related. It was just, you know, they was just taking
because they had to get their trainers through their sponsorship back then. The sponsorship. When Ali went with the Louisville Millionaires, they picked Angelo Dundee. You can't just be a father and unless you were coming from boxing. The father was not going to be picked to be the trainer. The sponsoring groups pick the trainers back then. Yeah, they'll pick a Gil Clancy. If they're going to put their money into a fighter, they're going to tell you, hey, if you want us to put our money forth, you're going to have Gil Clancy as your trainer and manager, or Angelo Dundee, or Customato, or someone who they liked. You know, that's how it went back then. You don't have as much say back then.
Yeah, I would think it would be a conflict of interest, man, because sometimes, man, you put the wrong style with the wrong trainer, it's gonna end terrible. Like a case in point, Floyd Mayweather Sr.
led to the Ali Act, bro.
But yeah. I was gonna mention that too earlier. I was gonna bring that up. That the trainer, the conflict of interest with the manager and stuff like that, it ended up that's why that got initiated. But I was just gonna say, like, just like how you put Ricky Hatton with Floyd Mayweather Sr. as his trainer. Remember when you fought Pacquiao? It was a disaster. You know what I'm saying? Because that did not fit at all. Yeah. Not every trainer works with every fighter, man. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather Sr. didn't work with Manny Pacquiao at all. I mean, not Manny Pacquiao, Ricky Hatton. He didn't work with Ricky Hatton at all. Yeah. Hey, well, let Floyd tell his Ricky Hatton didn't follow his dad's game plan.
I mean, I don't think Ricky Hatton could.
Yeah, nah,
he didn't have the mechanics. He didn't have the mechanics to follow the game.
Not for Pacquiao. See, the thing about it is Ali was his trainer and manager was Angelo Dundee. His promoter was Chris Dundee.
But then the managers changed to Muslims. Did the managers change to like a Muslim?
They did change, yes. Later on, Elijah Muhammad's son took over as the manager. Okay, that's what it was. But Dundee stayed around. He brought Dundee back. Dundee left for the Jimmy Ellis fight, but he did bring Dundee back around. But in the beginning, when he had to deal with the sponsoring group, it was Dundee was going to be his trainer, and his promoter was going to be Dundee, Chris Dundee, the older brother of Angelo. Man. Which they took care of Ali. They probably made more money off of Ali than Ali made himself.
Damn. So the 10% thing wasn't in effect. It was different back then.
Yeah, it was different, man. The guys paid them fighters what they wanted to pay them back then.
Man, he pretty much damn near extorted them.
Yeah, they definitely took advantage of.
Fast forward today, the fighters is extorting the fans now. Shit, all these pay-per-views and millions of dollars. Man, it's a pay-per-view every other week, man. Shit, we just had one last month. We got one this month. Next month, shit. They was about to give us two of them on the Devin Haney shit when Floyd Mayweather and he was supposed to fight or Mikey Garcia. Like that was gonna be that was gonna be a dual pay-per-view the same day. That shit getting out of hand today, man. But
it's getting
greatest heavyweight of all time, blood. Greatest heavyweight of all time. Who you got? Ali. Just one. You only can pick one.
Ali.
Come on, man. You know, that's a given, Shake. Great. You gotta a little spicy with blood, man. Greatest welterweight of all time, blood.
The greatest welterweight of all time is Sugar Ray Robinson.
Even though you ain't never seen a Sugar Ray Robinson fight at welterweight.
But this is during the time period where he went. This is during the time period where this guy went over 100 fights and then lose.
shit, man. He ain't the only
Some
one.
say it was over 100. Some say it was 95 fights. I don't know for sure. Didn't count them up myself yet. But
Greatest lightweight.
The greatest lightweight ever was Roberto Duran.
Ooh, I like that.
Roberto Duran.
I hear some people
Like
say
that.
Floyd. But
Greatest middleweight.
Greatest middleweight of all times is Marvin Hagler.
Over Ray
I might say
Robinson.
Carlos Monzon, but I go with Marvin Hagler.
But didn't when Robinson went on that tear?
Hold on,
that
over triple G. It's like, nah, I'm just kidding.
Hey, blood.
Mhm.
When he went on that streak, wasn't that at middleweight though?
When Marvin Hagler went on the street?
Nah, Robinson, because he lost when he was like what 40-0 or 38-0, something like that, and then he went on.
I
that
think
run.
it was that welterweight.
He fought Lamata at middleweight, right?
He fought him at welterweight the first time.
Okay, and then he went on that run.
Yes.
I thought that run was at middleweight, man. I could be wrong.
I thought that was at middleweight as well. I thought that run was at middleweight too.
I think it was at welterweight. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I heard he was a beast at welterweight. He fought Henry Armstrong at welterweight.
Yes, he did.
A lot of people don't talk about that. And shit, nigga, that's a shit. That dude is considered, by a lot, one of the greatest lightweights, greatest welterweights, greatest fighters, period. Top 10. Nevertheless.
Henry Armstrong is my number one favorite fighter of all time.
He went on the streak from 43 to 51, so I was right. It was during his welterweight time.
Okay.
43 to 51, he was at welterweight.
That's crazy.
So he was at welterweight throughout the 40s. So it was at welterweight. He lost to Lamata, and that's when he went on the streak, bro.
And that was his first fight with Lamata. I thought he beat Lamata the first time and lost the second time. But shit, man,
no, he lost the first fight,
and then beat him 5 times.
What, G?
Huh?
I'm gonna say this too, G. The fact that we have no film of Robinson at welterweight, but people still say that he was the greatest welterweight, I think that is more powerful than film, because over the years, stories will change. People will want to change history, make up stuff, because if there's no proof of it, then people can say anything, and people still will say that he's the greatest welterweight. I think that's more stronger than film, because if word of mouth traveled that far, that long, and it's still holding true, without even visually seeing it, that's powerful, man.
I think it's powerful, but also I think, and just playing devil's advocate, if you want to go that route, then some people will be like, oh, well, shit, if we gonna say that, then we gotta say Harry Greb was the best.
He didn't draw the color line either, Harry Greb.
Yeah, he beat
the white fighters.
Yeah, he beat top black fighters. He beat a former heavyweight champion. Shit, was it Former? I think Gene Former.
Yeah.
Only person to beat him. Only person to ever beat him. And that was a big dude. But yeah, he got some good wins. This is a one black dude. His name start with a W. That Harry Greb fought. He fought him a few times, as a matter of fact. What's his
that Harry Greb fought?
Yeah. It was a good black fighter. Man, matter of fact, I'm about to look him up.
I know he fought the Georgia Deacon.
What's
his name again? The Georgia Deacon.
If I hear his name, I'm gonna know it. It'll ring a bell. I'm about to look him up real quick. I'm familiar with this because I know he fought a lot of Hall of Famers. Harry Greb did a shit ton of Hall of Famers, but it's one of them that stand out to me.
It's not Tiger Flowers.
No, it wasn't Tiger Flowers. And Tiger Flowers was pretty good too.
Tiger Flowers was a beast.
Yeah, I think he fought Ray Robinson, didn't he? Or is that
no
a Tiger? Who was that Tiger? It was a Tiger that fought and beat Ray Robinson.
They didn't fight Tiger Flowers and Ray Robinson.
No, it's not Tiger Flowers. I'm thinking about the dude
retired years before.
The dude I'm talking about that fought Harry Greb was Mickey Walker. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Mickey Walker's a white guy though, bro.
Yo, yeah. I had that mixed up.
Yeah.
Walker was a Hall of Famer. I don't know why I said black guy, but I knew his name started with a W. Remember, I was like, it's a W name.
Yeah. I would have figured it out if you would have said white fighter, but
yeah,
because Mickey Walker's a white fighter.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it wasn't no footage. But I do remember looking up them guys, man. I remember Walker. He had a really good motherfucking resume.
He's one of the best, man, to do it. The only guys who ever won undisputed in 2 weight classes is only 5 guys that ever won undisputed in 2 weight classes. What Terrence Crawford has done and what Monster Inoue is getting ready to do has only ever been done 5 times. Bob Fitzsimmons did it. Tony Canzoneri did it. Barney Ross did it. Henry Armstrong did it, and Emil Griffith. They're the only ones. Now, there's been guys who's won multiple weight classes, but not undisputed. There's only 5 guys that ever did undisputed in 2 weight classes.
But Blood, do you think? What do you like more? Undisputed in 2 weight classes? Would you like undisputed in 2 weight classes, or let's say champion in 5 weight classes? What you think is better?
Actually, those guys that I just named, they're triple champions. They're the guys who did it in 3 weight classes. But I think it's better to be a undisputed double or triple champion. The guys who I just named, they actually title them triple champions, right? So
for
they
me,
did undisputed in 2, but they actually did it in 3. So I'm just saying he did something that only 5 guys were done as far as undisputed. You know what? Actually, let me take that back because I'm thinking about it wrong. The guys that I just named, I think there was a few more who might have did it in 2 weight classes, but the guys I just named are the triple champions. They're the guys who did it in 3 weight classes. So if Terrence Crawford is able to do it in a 3rd weight class, then he joins that elite group of 5.
You said 5. Who named the 5 guys? Name the 5 guys that did it.
The 5 guys who did that was Bob Fitzsimmons, Tony Canzoneri, Barney Ross, Henry Armstrong, and Emil Griffith. They're the only ones who were triple champions. So scratch what I said. There was more that did it as a double champ. What Terrence Crawford has already accomplished, there's more guys out there than that.
See, I didn't know Emil Griffin was a triple undisputed.
I didn't either.
In 3 different weight classes?
That Emil Griffin thing, that surprised the hell out of me.
Listen, he won at 154 pounds, too. 154 pounds was a new weight class. There was only 1 belt available, and Griffin was the first one to get that belt. He didn't stay. He didn't stay there, so they got to credit him as a triple champion.
Wow.
There's more guys who did it double, like Evander Holyfield is one of them, for instance. So there's more. There's several more double champions, but the triple champion is the thing that Terrence Crawford needs to get to.
Now, see, here's my thing. Now, here's the question. Would you consider Crawford? Okay, so right now we know Ennis just got the belt, right? He just got the IBF. If he fights Crawford would then become an undisputed again. So my question is he really a 3-time undisputed, or is he only a 3-time undisputed because of politics? Like, how do y'all look at that? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't crown him a triple champion because the 5 who did it in 3 different weight classes.
Okay. So it's more impressive for me too if you become undisputed in different weight classes, because like I just said, you can, just like they did with Charlo and Crawford, they just stripped both of them of the IBF and WBO and gave it to Zoo and Ennis. So if they fight those guys and beat them for that title, they're going to say, oh yeah, now Charlo become a 2-time undisputed champion in 154 technically. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like,
I think that being a 2-time undisputed is more powerful than being a 5 weight division just regular champ or title holder, because people say that Manny Pacquiao's an 8 division champ or something, but he's never even been an undisputed. This is 6 or 7.
He won 6 of them, and one of them they count as a ring belt and shit.
Oh, okay. So even if he won 6 of them, it's still more impressive to be a triple champ, because only 5 guys has ever been a triple champ, and it was undisputed. There was no dispute. They dominated 3 weight classes. So it was only 5 guys to dominate 3 weight classes, and there was no dispute there. There's only 5 of those guys in existence.
That's right. You got In a way, could do it too. Now, I can see in a way doing it.
He's on par to do it, but I think this would be his second undisputed is what this is going to be. So I mean, even though he's been a champion in more than one weight class, he only was an undisputed in one. So he's going to have to do it here, and then he's going to have to move up the featherweight and do it there. And if he does that, if him and Terrence Crawford become undisputed again, then they join the elite group of triple champions. I kind of messed it up in the beginning. I wish I don't know what I was thinking, but I messed it up a little bit in the beginning. It's triple champ is what I'm talking about.
So who do y'all think has the potential today, and where they at right now, just moving forward to become a triple champion, triple undisputed?
NOA and NOA, I would say Terrence Crawford and maybe Canelo Alvarez if he could become a champion. Maybe I doubt it though, but if he could have become an undisputed at 175, which I don't think is going to happen. Yeah, so I'll say NOA has probably the best chance, followed by Crawford.
He could have did it at 160, maybe, but that's a whole nother conversation. I think, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. I think Devin Haney has potential to become a 3-time. I think he has potential to become undisputed at 140. I think if the welterweight division is clearing out a little bit and he builds himself there, I think he can do it there. I think Ennis is capable of becoming undisputed at 147. I think he can do it at 154, and I think he's capable at 160 as well. It's just if they give him the opportunity. So those are two sleeper guys that I personally feel can do it. It's just, where they're going if they get the opportunity to actually do it. I think
Devin Haney's closer because he's already did it at lightweight. Yeah. So if he does it at 140 and 147, he's a triple champ. Yeah. He goes into the elite group of triple champs.
And he's on course. I think both of them's in course to do it. Because if Crawford leaves the division, it's wide open for Ennis. If Haney gets that belt off of Regis, then shit. I mean, who the fuck ain't gonna want to fight no Devin Haney at 140 with a belt? You know what I'm saying? So that's I think that's it's right up his alley to do it. I don't know nobody else I can say confidently I can be undisputed in three different weight classes today besides those two guys. Like I don't know nobody else personally. Who you think? What you think, Shay?
I don't think Canelo can get it at 175. I don't think he could beat better.
And he's only been undisputed at. Has he been undisputed at only one, right?
Yeah, just 168.
Oh, so he has to do it in two more divisions.
Yeah, and
he probably could have did it at cruiserweight, but
I don't think Canelo could do it at 175.
Yeah, he's not Devin Haney has a better chance, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say.
Yeah. Sorry, Shake. Sorry.
No, it's all crazy. I'm gonna have to say Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford would probably be the closest right now. I think because 154, if he secure 154, that's it. He got it. And I think that Terrence Crawford can beat every 150. I think he could beat every top 154 pounder, in my opinion. I think he can beat. I think he can beat Zoo. I think he can beat Charlo, and I think he can beat. I think he could beat. What's the dude's name?
That's all you need to beat. Shit, that's it.
I was thinking about the top dudes though. I think he could beat. You know what I'm saying? But he could beat Zoo. He could beat Charlo. So I think Terrence Crawford right now is the number one because who don't have him beating Charlo? Who's picking Charlo against Terrence Crawford? Nobody. Who's picking Zoo against Crawford? Nobody. So I think those. What you saying, G?
No, I was gonna say, man, in Terrence Crawford. The reason why I didn't mention Terrence Crawford is because I think he can actually go a step further than Ennis and Haney, bro. I think Terrence Crawford is the one guy fighting right now that can actually do it 4 times, bro. I think he already did it at 140. He just did it at 147. Everybody on this panel agrees that he can do it at 154. And because it's so thin and wide fucking open, I think he may be able to do it at 160 if he can get past Johnny Beck. Johnny Beck is a tough.
That's
tough
a bad
path.
boy though. The Johnny Beck guys, man. I watched his last fight. Man, he ate that boy lunch, man.
Hey, listen,
He ate that little Eastern European boy. He ate his lunch, man.
yeah, man. He the new Triple G for sure, man. But I think if he can get past him, he can do it at 160 as well. I think he beats Adames. I think he beats fucking old ass Laura. You know, but I think he definitely can do it 4 times, bro. And I don't think it's ever been done 4 times. Blood, you tell me, has it ever been done 4? Never. So that would be historical. That'd be historical amongst boxing gods, bro. Like forever. That would
it would put him in. It would, man. I would never expect nobody to do this shit.
Especially not in this era.
It would kind of make him kind of one of the, like, probably you could call him the greatest of all time.
It would put him in the discussion.
He would
put him in the discussion
without a doubt.
It would put him in the top 5.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm talking with Sugar Ray Robinson and them. It would put him in that discussion with those guys.
For me, and this is probably controversial, but I think Terrence Crawford passed Floyd. I got him above Floyd. I just do. With the double undisputed, I got him above Floyd.
I have him above Floyd already.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not that impressed with Floyd's resume. I never was.
Oh shit, blood. God damn, man. He got now. I gotta disagree with that one, bro. Like Floyd. Now, obviously, I know. Trust me. I've been following you for a long time, blood. I done seen when Floyd was on your good side, when Floyd was pissing, when he was fighting Mosley, when he was pissing you off with the Pacquiao shit. I didn't see him, bro. But one thing I can't go against, bro, is that man got one of the most stacked resumes of fighters that are in boxing, period. Like, if you compare his resume to remove Canelo, because Canelo's on his shit, but compare Floyd's resume to any fucking body at any weight class that Floyd fought at today, it doesn't hold a candlestick to that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you went name for name, blow for blow, I can't knock his resume, blood. I get what you're saying. It was shit he didn't do that I wish he would have did. It was ways he acted I wish he wouldn't act. I mean, it was a lot of fights. I would have loved to see the Paul Williams. I would have loved to see the fucking Martinez. I would have loved to see Bradley, Thurman. It was guys he missed. I get it.
Winky Wright.
You know, but fuck, man, like the dude resume, bro. He got the fucking Pacquiao on there, bro. Niggas begged him, bro, get Pacquiao, and he did it. And he said it, bro. He said, man, I'm gonna beat this dude, and it ain't gonna be close, and y'all not gonna give me credit. Y'all not gonna do it. He got Cotto on that bitch, bro. He got Zab Judah on that bitch, bro. He had Mosley. Niggas want to give Mosley slack, but last time I checked, when I was watching the shit, Mosley was ranked the #1 fucking welterweight at the time he fought him. You know what I'm saying? Marquez, coming out of retirement, was ranked the #1 135er when he fought him. Not saying, you know, but I'm just saying. You know, fucking Canelo, he was the fucking the boogeyman, the next guy. You know what I'm saying? When he fought him, he was 36 when he fought his ass. Like, the dude was he was fighting guys, man. Like, you know, like, it was guys. It was like. But it's like today, too. Motherfuckers will fight somebody, it's like, damn, I wish he would have fought him instead. We didn't want to see Charlo fight Canelo. We want to see Benavidez fight Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Well, we tell you what we can get, but his resume, blood, he got a solid resume, bro. Like, come on, bro. He got a solid resume. I think
it's still overrated. I'm not saying it's not solid. I'm just saying I think they overrate him, man, because they start trying to put him in there with Ray Robinson.
But I mean, it's some shit he outdo Ray Robinson in. You know, when it comes to, because at the end of the day, it's up to your opponent to beat you. It's up to your opponent to punch you. It's up to your opponent to impose his will. So when you got a guy, and he has the highest hit and not get hit percentage, like, these dudes are not hitting him. Like, they was hitting Ray Robinson.
Ray Robinson, there was no CompuBox when Ray Robinson.
Well, no, but I'm not talking about the CompuBox. I'm saying he was getting hit enough to lose fights. He was getting hit enough to get dropped. You know what I'm saying? He was getting hit. So the defense, just if we just comparing defense versus defense, Floyd is over Ray Robinson. If we comparing offense versus offense, Ray Robinson is over Floyd. If we comparing knockouts, Ray Robinson is over Floyd. You know what I'm saying? But if we comparing consistency of winning and just not knowing how to be defeated in that ring, it's like, well, shit, bro, he lost 19 times now. So, you know what I mean?
But think about this, Joe G. Think about this, G. If Ray Robinson fares better in Floyd's time than Floyd fares in Ray Robinson's time, Floyd don't have good hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fighting with smaller gloves.
I can't say that.
And he's fighting with small. And he's fighting.
I disagree.
Well, you got to think about his hands, brother. His hands
was brittle. I understand that part.
And you got to remember that time. Think about the gloves. He doesn't fare well in that time because his hand. I'm not saying his skill. I'm saying physically he won't hold up. Because if he needed injections in his hands to get through certain fights, and if he had to take time off, remember he said, I took time off, my hands was hurting, I took that year off, my hands got better. If he had to take 18 months off to rest up to heal his hands, I'm just basing this off of the facts that we know. Yeah. I'm injecting it into my opinion. He physically, he's not faring well in that time of Ray Robinson. But if you take Ray Robinson and put him in this time, he destroys everything.
Yes.
But here's
you put Floyd Mayweather back then with his brittle hands, smaller gloves. He's not able to get the pain injections in his hand. There's no steroid testing. There's no therapeutic gloves. There's none of that stuff. You put him in Ray Robinson time and have Floyd Mayweather fighting guys like Kid Gavilan. I bet you his hit percentage wouldn't be what it was if he was fighting Kid Gavilan as prime and all them kind of guys. The kind of guys Ray Robinson fought, he fought a lot of slick fighters and stuff like that, man. Floyd Mayweather did fight nothing but a bunch of, well, I'm not going to say
Zab Judah wasn't slick. Zab Judah wasn't slick.
He wasn't Kid Gavilan.
I ain't saying he's Kid Gavilan. I'm just saying he's a slick fighter, though. I mean,
but did he not give Floyd Mayweather some problems?
Yeah,
he was landing shots.
He was,
which shows you that a lot of those fighters that are on Ray Robinson's resume, Ray Robinson fought a lot of different style of fighters, man.
But we also got to take into account the preparation. We also got to take into account, the fighters today. They evolve. So just like how we talked about earlier, how Holmes evolved Ali's jab. You know what I'm saying? So just like how fighters can evolve skills, like I think Floyd he perfected the Philly shell. They was doing the Philly shell back then, but I think he actually perfected that style. You know what I'm saying?
I got my own fucking defense, man. Mm-hmm. That's the Mayweather. I got my own style in boxing. That's the Floyd Mayweather style. My dad taught me to show the rope. Mm. But the thing is this, I don't care, and I'm not talking about my dad. I don't care who done it first. Mm-hmm. It's mine because I mastered it. Mm-hmm. So anytime somebody said it, and somebody said the Philly shell, my thing is this, I love Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. I love the city of brotherly love. Mm-hmm. I love all the fighters. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, that's the Mayweather defense.
Mm-hmm. That's who he was fighting, yeah.
But
you got to look at who he was fighting.
But at the same time, but Blood, at the same time, yes, you look at, you can only fight who's there at the time, and even those guys back then. These guys, some of these guys, bro, they're fighting 3 times a week. I remember I saw Ray Robinson fight 5 times or 5 or 6 times in 1 week. You know what I'm saying? And he paid for all the trip and everything for his entourage and everything. And he used those fights to do it. So I say all that to say this. If I'm about to fight Ray Robinson and I just fought a nigga 3 days ago, how well am I going to be ready for Ray Robinson? These guys are fighting so frequent that their training preparation to get ready for a fighter is a lot different from guys today. So you see Floyd Mayweather getting ready for a fight. He's 6 to 8 weeks. He's prepping for this one guy, studying this one guy style, ready to face this one guy with this specific game plan. When you go back into those days, yeah, the gloves and stuff was different, but also the preparation and the time to get ready for a fight was also different. You could fight a guy this week, and next week you got to fight a champion. And then
I got a question for you, G. When you get done, I got a question.
So I'm saying, I'll say all that to say, it's pros and cons on both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? The technology today, the nutrition, the vitamins, the different shit people take for their bodies to make them stronger, that is legal. You know what I'm saying? The workout machines and different shit. Like, they didn't have no neck. Like, I remember it was a tool that Floyd was using. It was like a neck weighted thing. He used to. You remember that thing? He like invented that thing. They didn't have that back then. So it was just, I'm looking at just different things where it gives fighters of old advantage on certain aspects, but then it's certain things that they implement today that would have gave fighters today an advantage over older fighters. You know what I'm saying? And preparation to get ready for the fight, and the time of that is one of them, because of how frequent guys was fighting back then and how least guys fight today. But go ahead.
Question, G.
What's up?
Question, G. Now, this, first and foremost, I think Floyd Mayweather is a great fighter. I think he's an immense talent. I think Floyd Mayweather is an all-time great. But if I'm taking Floyd Mayweather back into yesteryears, I don't think he's the same fighter. I'm saying only, and I'm not saying because of his skill. I'm saying because of him physically. Now I'm going to say this: who wins? And I'll give you in Floyd Mayweather's time or in Henry Armstrong's time. Who wins between Floyd Mayweather and Henry Armstrong?
It really comes down to what weight class.
135 or 147. Either one. You pick it. Who wins?
$135. I would say, if you said 130, I would have said Floyd. But obviously, you know, Armstrong, what was 126, then 135, then 147. 135, I would say Armstrong. 140.
147.
147. What version is what we? You know what I'm saying? What version of Floyd?
The best Floyd, the best Henry Armstrong.
Shit, nigga. I mean, I'm gonna have to say Armstrong for the simple fact that Armstrong felt he can do shit Floyd wouldn't attempt to do, which is move up to middleweight. And I heard he even got robbed. You know what I'm saying? I heard he should be a 4-time undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? In 4 weight classes.
He definitely should.
But the fact the fact that he felt his skills, I'm gonna top it off with this. The fact that he felt his skills could transition him up to 160, no middle, no 154, straight to 160 and compete and really win the fight, lets me know that welterweight fighter is more durable and better in his IQ and his skill set than the Floyd Mayweather we saw at 147. So I would say Armstrong. I got Armstrong over Floyd. So I mean, you know.
In any era? In Armstrong's era and Floyd's era?
Oh shit, now you saying some different shit now, Shake, man. Like nigga, you said the best. Let's stick with
I know. I'm asking you a question. No, okay. That's just a question.
All right, what I'm saying is the best Henry Armstrong in whatever weight class he competed beat Floyd, the best Floyd Mayweather in the same.
Yeah, but okay. Let me reiterate. What I'm saying is the best Floyd Mayweather and the best Henry Armstrong. We keeping that the same. But what I'm saying is if we take the best Henry Armstrong and bring him up to Floyd Mayweather's best era, who wins? If we take the best Henry Armstrong and best Floyd Mayweather and take Floyd Mayweather back to Henry Armstrong time, who wins? I'm saying both those eras. Who wins?
If you're doing it like that, you gotta say Armstrong wins in that time.
Both.
But this time, by Armstrong not really knowing the rules, not acclimated to the shit, not knowing how Floyd, you only going 12 rounds, this nigga can just steal the fight on points and shit by just, you know, fighting off the back foot. It's a different story. It's a different fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, and I agree with y'all on this. It's a completely different fight. And you look in today's terms, because you got to look at how much time do Henry Armstrong got to get ready for Floyd? What type of training preparation is he going to be using? What kind of things are he going to be putting in his body to get him ready for Floyd? What, you know what I'm saying? With his strength and conditioning coach, nutritionist, it's a lot of factors today because there's so much more shit going on in the sport You know what I'm saying? But back then it's like, nigga, you might get bit on your fucking glove like Floyd did with Maidana. You ain't no complaining back then. You know what I'm saying? You might get hit with a fucking elbow or something. Like it's different, bro. It's really hard to accurately give a straight answer on that because it's so many variables. And you understand variables, Shay. You know what I'm saying? You were telling me about it the other day. It's so many variables in play that you can't. I can't give it. I would say today's time, because of the knowledge the fighter has and what's going on here, I say Floyd going back there, nigga, Armstrong might stop his ass in one of them weight classes. Just being honest.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Let me say this, G. And this is where the lines get a little fuzzy. You ever do something? You ever, like, let's say you play a video game on difficult. Let's say you do it you get acclimated to difficult. Okay. When you put it back on normal, it's easier. The fighters of yesterday fought the game on difficult. The conditions, the how many times they had to fight, what they had to deal with, that's difficult. So bringing them up to today's time, they would have an easier time. You don't think so?
Probably. It depends on which fighter we talking about.
Henry Armstrong.
I mean, I think if he was born in this time, bro, and like came up in this time, like kind of the same way.
We talking fantasy. We talking fantasy. We talking bringing him up.
No, so what I'm saying is the fantasy is him being born in today's era, getting into boxing, the time he got into boxing, turning pro when he turned pro, taking fight. You know what I'm saying? I think
that's a different fighter. That's a different fighter, G. That's not Henry Armstrong anymore. But I'm saying I think it'd probably be a better Armstrong. I just think Floyd is a genius at understanding the rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying? He understands the rules. He understands what he can do, what he can't do, what's effective, what's gonna get him points, what's gonna do just enough to win. Like, I think his understanding of the game of boxing is vast beyond a lot of other fighters. As far as exactly what he do to win. I think he beat Terrence Crawford. See, if he go in there with the right game plan, but see, with that fight, I think it comes in with that fight just being completely honest. The best Crawford, the best Floyd Mayweather. If they fought today, where they at right now, Crawford wins. If they fought today, where they at right now, Crawford wins hands down. But if you're talking about prime, that fight would truly. If you being an unbiased person and talking about that fight, it's going to come down to who brings the best game plan into the ring that the night of the fight. Is it going to be Crawford's offense that wins the day, or Mayweather's defense that wins the day? It really comes down to the game plan. It's hard to say. It's hard. They so good in their prime. It's hard to say either way. I think they cut from the same. I think they cut from the same cloth. What you think, Bud?
I think that Crawford would beat him at 147 and Mayweather would win at 135. Anything under 147, I think Crawford would definitely win at one. I think he's a better fighter than Mayweather was at 35, 36 right now.
Do you think the Crawford at 140 would have beat the Mayweather that beat Gotti at 140? I don't. I think that was.
I don't know, man. I might lean towards Mayweather for that.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying, man. It's hard, but
I don't think that the welterweight. I don't think in the welterweight he'll beat Crawford though.
Now, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I think Crawford would have fared very well in yesteryears, any era, 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s. Going in there with Armstrong, going there with Roberts, any era, I think he would have competed and fared damn good. He fuck around be undefeated still. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to pick against a motherfucker that ain't never lost.
He would have did good. I think Bernard Hopkins in his prime would have did good in any era. I think James Toney, you would have had to have one hell of a hard chin. I think there's only a few fighters that could have fought those rough schedules, you know. To say that there's no one around today who could have probably fought, you know, every other week it would take somebody like a real Iron Man. It would have to be like a James Toney type or Bernard Hopkins or somebody like that.
Y'all think Wilder would have been putting motherfuckers to sleep back in the day?
I think he would have put motherfuckers to sleep at any era, but the difference is a lot of the boxers were better, man. But it depends on what era you put Wilder in. It depends. It depends on the era.
Well,
put him in the 1950s, I think he'll beat a lot of those guys.
Did he hit, in your opinion, Blood, did he hit harder than Ronnie Lau and Ernie Shavers? Does he hit harder than them guys?
He's right in there with them, bro. You knocked out. People want to always say he knocked out 40 bums and all kind of. I don't believe none of that shit. He knocked them motherfuckers out. It's just that simple. You knock someone out, you knock them out, man. It's just the way it is.
I think that when we think about Wilder, I love Wilder. I think Wilder is excellent. You know what I'm saying? I think when we think about Wilder, you also gotta account for that he started boxing late. Like that needs to be accounted for.
20 years old.
Like he started boxing late. So when you think about that, a late start. Imagine if he'd got an early start. So him getting a late start.
And he still wasn't looking starting late too, right?
A bronze medalist. So you think about that. He got a late start and still was a bronze medalist. That's so correct. Wilder really, really, as good as he is, he still didn't live up to his potential. He could have been better than that. In my opinion, I think Wilder could have been better. He got a late start, and he still is great. He's a great heavyweight. Let's call it what it is. Wilder is a great heavyweight. That's just the reality of it. People don't want to give him credit. I give Wilder actually more credit than what he deserves, because I believe people don't like fighters like Nate Campbell that started late. You don't like to come in the game late and to be able to accomplish, like, first of all, you have to get acclimated to the sport before you even could become good. Wilder didn't have time to get acclimated.
Wilder promised his daughter that he would become the heavyweight champion of the world, because if he didn't know how much longer she would live. She was born with a rare disease that would leave her paralyzed from the waist down, unless Deontay could make enough money to pay for her surgeries.
And seeing your child go through so much pain, needles being stuck through her, she's screaming from the top of her lungs, calling out your name, that gets to you, man.
Deontay was struggling to support his daughter, and one day, the pressure became too much. He found himself sitting in a dark room with a gun in his lap.
I feel like the only way to end all this is to take your life.
But even though his body wanted to give up, his heart wouldn't let him. As a father, Deontay refused to let down his daughter, and he was ready to sacrifice anything to see her happy. And so, he made her a promise.
That daddy gonna be a world champion, and he's gonna be able to support you beyond your belief. How can you defeat a guy that's not doing it for himself?
Starting with the jab, he finishes it with the jab.
We have a unanimous decision.
When I see my daddy win, it makes me feel happy. I just love him very much.
Thrown in. So that in itself is like, that's amazing in itself. So I think that he would have fared well back then, because I think back then he would have got more tutelage. I think Wilder back in the day would have gotten more tutelage than he's getting now. I think he would have fared better. I think he would have got with a trainer that would have taught him how to deliver it. I think that Wilder actually would have been a good heavyweight back then as well, because I think he would have been around more teachers. I think that he would have been around more.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just gonna say his size was gonna be a hell of a problem back then too.
Yeah, I think he also. I think he also probably would have been. He would have been. He definitely would. He would have had better footwork. I think he would have had. I think he would have been a lot better back then. A lot of them fighters back then was left out a lot. Is them dudes was fundamentally sound. The fundamentals back then was important then. The fundamentals back then, like he said, the Customados, the Angelo Dundees, these people taught the reason why they were such good trainers, because they focused much on the fundamentals. The fundamentals was very important. So I think that Wilder back then would have been more fundamentally sound. I think that he would have been way more fundamentally sound. I think he would have fared well. I think Wilder would have felt very, very well, because what Wilder has showed me by having a late start and accomplishing so much is that he's a quick learner. He's a fast learner. And I think that would translate in any era. a fast learner. So I think back then Wilder would have been good then as well. I think he would have been like on par with a George Foreman.
Man, I got Wilder stopping Max Breyer. I got him stopping Rocky Marciano. I got him stopping James J. Braddock. I got him stopping Primo Carnera, Gene Tunney. Like I got Wilder stopping a lot of motherfuckers in different eras, bro. Like just he got a frequent, and I ain't gonna say like some of these guys. I don't think he's a better boxer than. Like I think if he were to fight Ezra Charles, I think he would stop Ezra Charles, but I think Ezra Charles would outbox him. You know what I'm saying? While the fight is going on, but I think it would just be, man, Wilder's so big and his power so powerful with his size and shit. He'll just catch up to Ezra Charles and knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
I think that Wilder would have had.
Am I talking crazy?
No, I think Wilder would have probably struggled more in the 90s. The 90s.
You know what, Blood? I was going to say the 80s. I was going to say he would have struggled in the 80s.
And the 90s was going to be his toughest. Both of those 2 decades there would have been a lot tougher for him because of the big men that could move so good. And Wilder really only weighed 215 in his prime, man. 213 and 215.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
like that.
Right about that.
You know, but I do think that he would have still been some problems. Still, you know.
Absolutely.
I think he would have always been a problem because of his legendary power.
Man, I think, man, what's that? The tall boy name? What's his name on tip of my tongue? That Lennox Lewis had beat up. He was a hot prospect, tall as
Michael
fuck.
Grant.
Michael Grant. I think he would have been a Michael Grant with a little bit more power in the 90s against those guys in the 90s. That's what I think. He just would have been a big Michael Grant. Hey, he got power, but he only got one play. He only got a right hand. And them guys in the 90s, man, they would have nullified that.
I didn't like Michael Grant. I didn't like Michael Grant's quickness. I didn't think he was that quick. That's my only knock on Michael Grant.
I didn't think he was good at measuring distance and using like fighting tall.
He's just a big football player, man. He was good against some of those guys, but once he got in there against the skilled, experienced heavyweight, and then Dominique Quinn beat the hell out of him too. He was just a better fighter than him.
Yeah, he was big for no reason and shit. Dude, man, that Lennox Lewis fight, man, it made Lennox, man, that made me look at Lennox completely different. I'm like, man, he's something serious, bro. It don't even matter how big.
Lennox is always the problem, man. Lennox is one of the best to ever do it, man.
Yeah, I got him in my top. He's my top. He's definitely in my top 5 all heavyweights.
I can understand that.
You know what I'm saying? Like all heavyweights.
I fucks with that.
He was very good, man.
His body of work, man, is undeniable, bro. And if he fucking didn't get knocked out them 2 times against Oliver McCall, and old boy, like it wouldn't like we really have an argument. He probably, I mean, shit.
He avenged those losses, but it did show that he could be beat, though.
Yeah, it showed that if you can catch him. But one thing that he did show me that you can't beat. He was unbeatable in a 12-round fight. He was unbeatable in a fight that goes a full 12 rounds. Lennox Lewis was unbeatable. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what though, G? You know what too though, G, about Lennox Lewis though? I appreciate the losses. I'm gonna tell you why though, because it kind of like
made him better.
It made him better, and it showed you that he can, like I was talking about earlier, how the competitiveness of boxing has disappeared, and how the fighters now don't want to lose. The fact that Lennox Lewis lost, that brought more fanfare to Lennox Lewis when it was time for him to rematch those losses. That brought more eyes to the.
And this was even crazy, Shake. You know who Oliver McCall trainer was when he lost to Oliver McCall?
Who's his trainer?
Emmanuel Stewart. Do you know Lennox Lewis So Emmanuel Stewart trained Oliver McCall to beat Lennox Lewis. Do you know who Lennox Lewis trainer was when he rematched Oliver McCall?
Emmanuel Stewart.
Emmanuel fucking Stewart.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point, man. I forgot, but you're right. He did trade Oliver McCall, man.
remember Emmanuel Stewart after what's his name, Lennox Lewis left, he ended up training Klitschko. So think about, and I don't know if he trained. I know he trained Waldemir, but I don't know if he trained Batali too. But he definitely trained Vladimir.
He never trained Batali.
Okay, he
I think
trained
Vladimir. It was just Vladimir.
But that just goes to show you that how much impact a fucking trainer can have on your career. Because think about if Lennox never would have lost that fight, he may have never would have got it with Emmanuel Stewart.
Exactly. We would have never.
How this dude beat me?
He probably would have never been a Lennox Lewis who he is today. So that's what I'm saying. I appreciate the losses of Lennox's career because it created Lennox Lewis that we know today.
Yeah,
it created that.
That's why I said that little story, because that added on to what you're saying. Like shit, him losing that made him pick up the trainer of the guy that beat him, and then he went on a tear of the whole division once he did that and fought contender after champion after contender after champion. Man, well,
now think about this, G. Now think about this, G. Now compare that to the fighters of today. They're not reaching their potential because they're not having the competitive fights, the fights which they can possibly lose. Because a loss sometimes is a lesson, right? And then if we in that lesson, you can elevate past that person you was that loss, and then you can rematch that loss and become a better fighter, and then move on to the next level of performances.
Now
these fighters would never make it there.
The guy that was on par to do that, you know who that was? The heavyweight that was on par to do that. He couldn't get over the hump. Anthony Joshua. When you look at Anthony Joshua's career and just look at the names on his resume, he was in a very good trajectory to surpass, I would dare say even surpass what Lennox Lewis did. But because when you look at the guys he was fighting, the first guy he took out was Klitschko, right? You got to see he fought Charles Martin, the first American champion since a fucking long time. I want to say since Shannon Briggs. You know what I'm saying? So he was knocking off Joseph Parker, another undefeated champion. You know what I'm saying? He was getting these certain guys, like the big name guys, the top 10 guys. He was fighting these guys. But when he ran into Ruiz and he lost, and he came back, he didn't stop him, but he won. And then he ran into Usyk. And just couldn't get over that hump. It was just like, yeah, you can't be Lennox Lewis. Like you won't get to that. You was almost there. He was one belt from undisputed. You know what I'm saying? But he needed to get a fucking Fury fight. He needed to get a Wilder fight. If Joshua would have beat Ruiz the first time and fucked around and beat Usyk and got Fury and Wilder in there, I'll guarantee you, people will be having a completely different conversation about Anthony Joshua and where he ranks amongst all the heavyweights of all time. But it was really 4 fights, 2 fights he didn't get, and the 2 fights or the 2 opponents that he lost to that fucked up his whole trajectory of his whole career, where his career could have been. Because I heard he was on course to make $1 billion in boxing, but didn't go over the hump. What's your take on it, Blood? You've been kind of quiet back there, man. What's up?
No, man. No, I agree with you guys, man. Anthony Joshua, he was on him and Deontay Wilder should have fought a long time ago. And we never did bring that up either. We were supposed to talk about that, about Deontay Wilder actually going over there and challenging him, from what I read, man to man, having a discussion with him.
Yeah.
The fight, the expiration date, it's not overdue yet. I'd still like to see the fight, but the fight should have happened a long time ago. Guys like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Usyk, all of these kind of guys all should have fought each other by now, maybe even a second time, because these guys needed each other to find their legacies and things like that. But I think that Anthony Joshua was a guy who could have fit into some other eras. The thing about Deontay Wilder and Tyson, and Anthony Joshua more so than Usyk and Tyson Fury, is that they started kind of late. They don't have the boxing experience that the other 2 guys have. So if you transfer them into other eras and things like that, that's gonna be one of their flaws. going into a different era. But I think because of their size and some of their attributes and things like that, because even though Deontay Wilder only weighs 215, he has a long ass reach. He's 6'7", very athletic guy and stuff like that, man. So, you know, he has some of the attributes to take him into some of the different eras. And I think Anthony Joshua does too. But it's a damn shame that we can't even get these guys to fight now in 2023 in their own era. We'd like to see these two guys fight. I've always thought that Deontay Wilder would beat Anthony Joshua. I still feel that way. There's been times in the past where, you know, I've had a problem with some of the Deontay Wilder's extremes. So I'll just say shit just to fuck with them. Like, hey, you know, Anthony Joshua will knock his ass out. But I ain't really mean it. I really feel, and I've always said it on my own channel, more so, that Deontay Wilder would beat Anthony Joshua. I've always felt that for some reason, you know, I just don't think Anthony Joshua would be able to deal with him, man. I just don't believe it, man. I think he's going to hit Anthony Joshua with something, and it's going to close the show, man.
Yeah, I used to think Joshua would beat Wilder back in the day. Before he lost, when he was still undefeated, I really felt like he was the best out there. But when I realized, you know, when a guy with power touches chin, you know, it could discombobulate him, and he could have a whole breakdown in the fight, man. And just, you know, knowing that and seeing him lose, like the frustration that he had when he lost against Usyk, throwing the belts down out the ring and shit, you know, just doing some crazy stuff. I'm just like, fuck, man, I don't think his mind is there to really, you know, beat these strong guys that are really, you know, can outthink him or outpower him. And you know, he doesn't know what to do when he gets in there with those type of guys, man. So that made me want to change my pick, you know, and I definitely got Wilder knocking him out now if they fight. But back then, when they was both undefeated, had all the belts, I was riding with Joshua shit before he got his first belt. But now, man, it's just like, nah, Joshua, he's not shit. He won't even challenge nobody that's worth the damn. Like, he fighting guys I ain't never heard of now, man. So I don't know what's up with him and Eddie, man, but they better get their shit together.
Who's he supposed to fight next? This Anthony Joshua.
You said what?
Hergovich.
No, bro, they said another dude name. I heard another dude name that I ain't never heard of ever. They want Hergovich. Oh, you talking about they talking about Hergovich for Usyk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they talking about Hergovich for Usyk. But Joshua,
Usyk fighting. They fighting Tyson Fury in February.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Man, they said he was fighting in December.
Now Usyk say it came out. Go ahead, Blood.
Go ahead, no, you go ahead.
I was saying that Usyk just put out a statement and said that he understand that Tyson Fury was in a hard fight, and he understand that Tyson Fury sustained some injuries, so he understands and he's willing to fight him in February now.
Okay, shit. That's good. I mean, I just want him to make the fight, man. I'm all about the best fighting the best, bro. I just want the fight, like you know what I'm saying. We getting close to the end of the show, man. So I want to say my piece with this right here. Fight the fans, y'all know. Fight the fights, y'all know the fans want to see y'all fight. That y'all supposed to be fighting. That's going to enhance y'all legacy. We all know, fucking doing a round robin with Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Usyk, Wilder, mix it up, mix and match, swap everybody, make sure round robin everybody fight. It's going to enhance people's legacies, bro. We want it when it comes to the lightweight. The light heavyweight division, bro. The fight there is Bivol and Bivol and Beterbiev. That's the fight us as fans want to see. It's not hard. When you go to 168, the fight there we want to see is fucking Canelo versus the winner of Andrade Benavidez. The shit's not hard. When you go to 160, just the fight we want to see, because the names is not prevalent. We want to see undisputed. So obviously we want to see Carlos Adames and Laura mix it up with Johnny Beck. At 154, man, we want to see Charlo fight Zoo or Crawford. At 147, we want to see Ennis fight Crawford. Like, the shit is, or Ennis fight Thurman, right? Like, it's simple. Like, the math is simple. At 140, 135, anyway, either one you want to go, bro. We want to see Stevenson, Haney, Tank. Mix it up, bro. Like, it's not, what the fuck? Like, y'all want to make the most money y'all want, y'all can possibly make, maximize y'all profit in y'all legacy. in y'all fan base, nigga, give us these fucking fights. I saw fucking Mike Tyson told Jamal Charlo when he was on the hot box, he said, bro, you got more eyes on you right now, and you can get more eyes on you today than I could have got at the height of my career when I was fighting because of technology. So if guys know that, bro, and these guys got these fake ass promotion teams, lines only promotions, why y'all not promoting? Earl Spence promotions and shit. Nigga, promote y'all fucking fights. Promote y'all fighters. Promote. You know what I'm saying? Do shit. Interact with the fans. But give us the fights we want to see. It's simple. Every fucking boxer that has some kind of fan base can be like, look, man, I'm doing a poll. I'm the best in the world. I fight anybody y'all wanted me to fight because can't nobody beat me. Who y'all want to see me fight? They give me the top guy. I'm gonna try to make a list. If he don't want to go, I'm gonna go to the second guy. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, step to him. If he don't want to go, I'm gonna go to the third guy. But my fans are going to know I'm giving them who they want to see me fight. It's not my problem if these niggas some bitch ass niggas that scared to fight. When we was kids, you didn't want to get out there in the yard, nigga. That was an automatic win. Oh, you scared? Oh, nigga, we know he'll beat your ass. Then that's an automatic win. Yep. The same thing in boxing, bro. You don't want to go in there and get okay. We know why. We know you're gonna get your ass whooped. That's why you don't want to do it. I don't want to hear that the fighters ain't scared shit. That's bullshit. Because if it didn't matter, then nigga, you wouldn't even be asking who you fight. You wouldn't care as long as you're getting paid what you're asking to get paid. The opponent doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna end it with that. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna turn over to Shake and Blood. We're gonna save you for last, bro, because I want you to be able to give you where they can find you, what you got going on in the YouTube boxing world and everything like that. But that was my last piece. I want to say we've been on here rocking for 3 hours. I knew it was gonna go down like that. You know what I'm saying?
Have we been on for 3 hours?
3 hours, bro. 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? It feel like 30 minutes.
Yeah, but then it don't seem like 3 hours. Shit, it went about fast to me.
It only feel like it with my body, man, because I'm cramping and shit.
Oh, you getting old.
Oh yeah, I'm up there now, brother. 10 years, long time.
I'm gonna say this. I mean, for me, I just want to see more activity and more competitive fights. I'm tired of showcase fights. I'm tired of highlight reel fights. I'm tired of matchups where we know who's going to win all the time. I just want more competitive fights, and I want more fights. More fights and more competitive fights. If you want to revive the sport, in order to revive the sport, we have to get back to what made boxing popular and what made boxing what it was. And what that is competitive fights. It's violence. It's skillful violence and competitive fights. That's what people want to see. It's a gladiator sport. People want to see blood. People want to see competitive fights. People want to see fights where they don't know who's going to win. People want to see action. People are not stupid, man. People understand. People could look at a fight and say, we know who's going to win that. They know that. That's why the casual fans don't tune in like they used to, because the fights aren't competitive. If you want to bring boxing back, you have to bring back the competitive aspect of boxing. So that's all I want to see. I want to see that, and then boxing can get back to what it was. So that's what I want to see, and that's what we need. Go ahead, Blood. You finish it out, brother.
Hey, man, I agree with both of you brothers, man. We want to get boxing back to where it was. Now, we're not asking that these fighters go out there and fight 5 and 6 times a year, but just don't be off for 3 years. And if that's going to be the case, put these fighters in recess. Have some uniform guideline rules. Don't just strip a fighter of his title and place somebody else in the spot just because. I mean, because you guys are fucking with the time frames on these kind of things. Let's get us some guidelines that apply across the board, not fighter specific guidelines. I'm talking about guidelines that they all know are in place. Let's clean up the ranking systems a little bit so we can know who these fighters are. That's one thing that Fear Shake mentioned in the beginning of this video, that we don't really know where these guys are because, the opposition, these guys are not fighting each other. They're too inactive. You sit out for a year and then you want a tune-up fight before you come. Then you go back and you want to sit out another year again and things like that. We're just tired of that kind of stuff. We're not asking these guys to go in there every second and fight, but we want to just see competitive fights, and we want to see these fights occur often. That's all. And I want to tell these two brothers that, you know, it's been a long time since I chopped it up with you two guys, man. This is the first time I chopped it up on y'all's panel, and I'm hoping that you guys invite me back because I really enjoyed this, man. I think that you guys are doing a great thing. I love seeing you guys talk sport of boxing, man. I've been watching both of you guys for over a decade. I've known both of you guys for over a decade, and it's been an honor to share the spot with you guys in your show. And I will come anytime that you ask me to come. I will be here. You guys can find me on Retro Boxing and Documentaries. You could also find me over at BloodBoxing. I'm working on documentaries over at Retro Boxing and Documentaries. That is the more important page to me, more so than BloodBoxing. So if you guys want to see anything going on with boxing history, make sure y'all go subscribe to me over at Retro Boxing and Documentaries. I don't really upload very much at BloodBoxing no more. Man, I'm telling you guys, man, I appreciate you guys once again for having me on the show.
We appreciate you, man.
Salute to you, brothers, man. And I'm going to be expecting to hear from y'all to bring me back, man. You know, bring me back on the show again, man. Yes, sir.
Man. Definitely,
no doubt, brother.
And as always, man, you know, it was an absolute pleasure, man, to sit here, man, and talk boxing with you, man. Talking old school, all eras, man, different topics, man. And you right, bro. I mean, we ain't ask these guys fight 6 times a year, bro. Shoot, if you fight us. If you're gonna give us 3 times, you give us 2 good ones in a stay busy fight or something. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get back to we don't know who the hell gonna win the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Blood, man, hey man, it's always a pleasure to talk boxing with you, brother. Man, like I said, bro, I hope to have you again, man. It was an honor, man, to man, just talk this old school pure boxing talk, man. The lab, man, we got the cooking today, man. Cooking. You know, everybody that listen, man, I'm gonna leave Blood's I'm gonna leave his retro boxing channel in the description. I'm gonna leave his blood boxing channel in the description, man. So y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe and support the brother. You know what I'm saying? If y'all like the content, man, make sure, man, y'all like the video, share the video, comment what you thought of the video, man. We're gonna be bringing these to you live, man. We're gonna be trying to pump out something, man, every week. We about to, me and Shake, man, we definitely about to start going live a lot more. And me personally, man, I'm about to go live every single week. It might be on a Tuesday or something, man, but I ain't decided yet, or a Friday or a Sunday, one of them. But I'm gonna be covering, man, this Benavidez Andrade card, man, all the way up to the card, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk about various topics, man. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that, man. But without further ado, anything else brothers want to say? All right, man. Well, hey, salute to you, Blood. Hey, salute to you, Fair Shake. You know what I'm saying? We got in another episode of the Lions Den Laboratory, brother, man. Hey, shout out to everybody, man, that tuned in and listened in, man. Hope y'all took notes. Hope y'all was thoroughly satisfied on this good boxing talk, whether y'all at work, driving around, working out, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want
and make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Get them subscriptions up, man. We need that channel. We need more subscriptions. We need more likes. We need that algorithming. We need that. So you know what I mean? Put that in there. This the best boxing talk from here to Dubai. Come on.
No, you ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? Get it going. Get it
Share
going.
These videos.
Stop playing with us.
Share these Lions Den Laboratory videos, these Lions Den Roundup videos, man, with your favorite boxing channels, man. You know what I'm saying? We wanna attract all different audiences, man. We know all 3 of us got unique boxing minds, and we know it's a whole bunch of fans out here that likes unique boxing minds and of different audiences, but we want to bring all the audiences together, man. You know what I'm saying? To get back to this purity of boxing talk, bro. Straight off the top of the rock. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, hey, just spitting that knowledge, man. But you know, it was like I said, man, it was an honor again to have BloodBoxing come to the page, man. We hope to have you back again, bro. Hopefully, I soon be coming on your page, man, chopping up with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
we're gonna set something up, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Well, I'm just gonna bring just you 2 guys on, you know.
Yeah, man. Whatever's clever, bro, man.
You guys. Yep.
Just keep kicking it back, man. You know, but like I said, man, that wraps up the show, man. Hope everybody enjoyed, man. Everybody stay blessed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody stay safe, man. You know, your boy Kingz, the legendary boxingologist, BloodBoxing, Fair Shake, the quintessential boxing enthusiast. Hey, we signing off, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a good one.
Peace.